Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz on March 12, 2020, 12:55 a.m. in Birmingham. Topic: the judgments in the book of Revelation, in the 7-year tribulation. There's the seal judgments, there's the trumpet judgments, and there's the vial judgments. And of all, the vial judgments will be the worst. And all of them are horrible, but the vial will be the worst. But the seventh judgment, saying the seal, is the world's greatest hour of fear because the lull before the storm. And it actually announces the coming of the next set of judgments. So there's a two-part there. And the next set of judgments, when you get down to 7, the world's greatest storm. At the same time, it announces the coming of the next set of judgments, which are the vial judgments. And the last, the 7th, is the world's greatest earthquake, actually announcing the return of our Christ. So if you look at the 21 listed, there's 18 actual events that's going to happen that's going to be in a bad way. Now, this virus today that they're talking about, let me tell you what, if you think for 1 second that it's anything like that that's going to be in tribulation, think again. This one they say, let me tell you what my doctor said. And when I walked into the room the other day, the nurse, she sprayed Lysol in the air and just sort of whiffed it toward her and sucked it in. And I said, "Why are you doing that?" She said, "Well, I know Lysol will kill anything, and so that's the way we do it." And that's not a bad idea. And Lysol, I think, for your home is probably about the best you can do. And but the point that I'm trying to make is the judgment of the pestilence or the virus and the flus. There's nothing that man can do to avoid it. And I don't care how hard you try. If you look at these guys that work in Chernobyl and Russia or Ukraine, I think, the greatest nuclear disaster ever, I'm not sure if it's that one or the one that hit Japan with a tsunami, but both of them are horrible. The hazmat suit they wore is far more than a hazmat. Now, when they get into one of those suits, I'm talking about these big suits, they can't spend more than, max 2 hours at best inside this thing, whatever they're doing in there to clean it up. Now, you take a regular hazmat suit, say there's a tanker wreck that's got some chlorine in it. That's deadly. Hazmat suit, forget that. Let's go to something that's not as deadly. Let's say diesel fuel. Well, they'll wear a hazmat suit, and they'll carry these pads. These pads will soak up about 100 times their own weight in diesel fuel and gasoline. And they throw these pads on oil spills. These pads are about a 2-foot square. And it weighs probably about 6 ounces, maybe pushing 7 at best. But it'll suck up 20 to 30 times its weight. So if you throw a 2-foot mat out there, then you're gonna get 140 ounces. I mean, that's a lot of weight. And if you throw a 3-foot mat, you can't pick it up. You're just not going to be able to. I mean, lift it, hang over the boat, pull it out of the water. You can't do that. And the suit they wear, the hazmat suit, I'm talking about the full white, the headgear, the breather, everything, they still can't wear those things but for a short while. Look, you sweat like a monkey in Africa on a 125-degree day when you put one of those things on, even if you're in the cold weather. I'm telling you, they're not good but for a short while, because a person in it, he can't handle it. And that's why I'm trying to tell you that what you see here today is nothing. I mean, really, it'll never get as bad as the flu, just the regular flu. What we need is just a cure for the common cold, and that'll clear up so much. And they probably have it, except if you had it, then they couldn't sell you medicine, so they don't want you to have it. Just like gasoline, you can run your car off of water, but then the oil companies go out of business, so they don't want you to have it. There's electricity that'll suck it right out of the air, but they don't want you to have it. They'll go out of business. And then there's even these machines, and this is so simple. Why hadn't people thought about it? These things that pull moisture out of there. You put a dehumidifier in your home, set it in the floor, and say it'll work on a 1,200 square foot or 900 square foot house, and it may take out 5 gallons, 6 gallons, 10 gallons of water a day. Well, there's your water. So you get free water right there. And there's so many ways that you can do so many things without panicking, but going through the things that we might see as a flu-like thing, is the third judgment on the seal is famine. Well, we don't know if that really is part of a flu-like judgment or not. But the trumpet, you have number 5, is the world's greatest pestilence invasion. Now you're talking about the scorpion, not the scorpions, the locust coming and eating everything. Just now you jump into the vial, and you have number 5, which is the plague. This would be more like the medieval era, the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages. The plague would be more like them. That's the vial judgments, and that's number 5 judgment. So I'm not expecting to see a great number of horrible flu-like judgments in the tribulation until you get to the last 3.5 years, and somewhere in the middle of it. And I just want you to don't get your panties in a wad about this, because it's something that is going away already on its own. And if it was a vial judgment or even a trumpet judgment, there's nothing in the world a man can do to keep from dying. He gets that. I don't care if you're wearing hazmat suit times 3 and sitting in a tub of chlorine, you're still going to get it. So what they have now is scare tactics, smoke and mirrors by the liberal media. And back off. Don't be afraid, really. Jody Wolf Expoz.